Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at some 11R vice grips. These are both made in the United States vice grips. A little bit different. These ones are made in the United States. These ones are made in the United States with global components. So I don't really know how much of these are made in the United States, these ones, but they're made in the United States at least. I take them as I get them. These, of course, are dinosaurs in terms of new now. It has been roughly, I want to say, something close to 6 years since Irwin has taken vice grips overseas entirely, and so Walmart's phasing out vice grips as it is. But if you're going to Walmart, you're going to Home Depot, you're going to Lowe's, you're going to wherever sells vice grips, they will not be made in the United States if they're new stock. These I've lucked out. I've got them new old stock at Ace Hardware. That seems to be the place, just so we have just to give you guys a heads up. If you're going for new old stock United States stuff, especially if you live in towns that aren't as populous, or towns that are super populous and have a bunch of Ace Hardwares, go look for them. There's a lot of them. These 11R, the cushion grip ones, or the quick release ones, I want to say somewhere around 20 of these, all from, Ace Hardware's new old stock. They're sitting there. They don't sell them because they're uncommon a lot of the time, unless you're either woodworking or welding. These are usually welding because they have those non-rotating flat tips. So Ace Hardware has them all the time. I got these for like 10 bucks a pair or something like that, maybe a little bit less. And I mean, that's cheaper than the Chinese ones now. I'm a pack rat, but if I wanted to sell these, I could easily sell these and make my money back, no problem. But yeah, just keep a lookout for them if you're looking for those United States vice grips. I want to kind of show you a little bit of things that are the difference between the two, and then kind of how to look out for these American-made ones. So look at these regular 11Rs first. So they, of course, they have Irwin stamped on them. That's how you can see that they're newer, right? So they're not the old ones. They'll have these same vice grip logos, but they'll say DeWitt, Nebraska, which is where they used to be made, and they'll either say American Tool Group on them, but they never used to say Irwin on them. But you could tell the United States made. If you look right back here where this quick release is, they have a roll pin. So new ones just have a rivet, just like right here. But the roll pin is an easy way to see if they are American-made vice grips. Now, this will not always be the case. If you're looking at something that is not traditional, either vice grip brand vice grips, so whether it be Irwin or American Tool Group when they used to own them, this will not apply. So if you go to Harbor Freight and you look at regular standard locking pliers, if they have that roll pin, that doesn't mean that they're made in the United States. So don't put that on everything. But if they are vice grip branded vice grips, so if they say vice grip on them, then they for sure will be made in the United States if they have that roll pin, which is nice. The other easy way to see if they are made in America or made in China, here we'll show you this real quick. Probably should have prepared a little bit better. Oh well. The locking screw on these. So I mean, well, first of all, look at this. I mean, you can see that it's been sitting in storage for years and years and years, considering the stain on it. But the made in China ones now will have a hex key knocked out of the back, so you can put like a 6mm hex on it or something like that, and will help you tighten it. I don't know why the hell you need that, but it's an option for the new ones. That's not always necessarily the case. So the very late models, right before they switch to China, will still have that little hex key inside of the screw. But for like 70 years of the vice grips being vice grips, they did not have those, so that's a really, really easy way to see it. This is the new style, of course, in these ones. So Irwin really, really like themselves, of course, and they really, really, you know, these companies aren't stupid. You know, they buy the brand because the brand's name means something, right? So Irwin, of course, goes out of its way and labels everything humanly possible. You know, it has Vise-Grip here, the original, you know. It has Vise-Grip on this side, it has Irwin on that side, and it has Made in the United States right here. So the advertising on these later model Irwin ones are just out of control. So it's really easy to see that difference in the old ones compared to the new ones. If we look at, or transition over to these ones, so of course these are the fast release. So if you don't see, they, instead of having the little lever you press there, you don't press anything at all. You just press it open and it pops open. Of course it won't do that if you have this, you know, not attached to the plastic. But that's the difference there. These ones are a tad harder to see if they're made in the United States. So one thing you can do, you can take off this little boot. I'm not going to do that on mine because I don't want to, you know, risk not having to be able to put it back on. You can take off that boot and there will be a roll pin underneath there. That's the first easiest way to look for it, if it's not in the package. Perfect example, I'll show you this right now. So as we can see up here, it says Made in the United States with global components. And we will see though that the screw has a hex in it, right? So again, that's where you get to the point where these are made like in the final dying days of Made in the United States vice grips, but they still have the screw in it. So the screw is not an end all be all. It's an easy way to narrow it down. But if you see it and it doesn't have a screw or it does have a screw, it will not be a guarantee that it will or will not be made in the United States. So I just want to make sure we keep that 100% clear that if you see the screw in there, it doesn't mean it's always Chinese. So just make sure you keep that in mind. As for the overall quality, here we'll put this back together. As for the overall quality of, we'll look at, I mean, even these compared to these, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but the chrome is far different on the two. And this is just in the last, in a couple of year span. I want to say that, so these are 2007 copyrighted, these are 2005 copyrighted. And just in those 2 years, now this might be, you know, 2010 made, and this one might be, you know, 2006 made, I don't really know. But the chrome on these is 1,000 times better the older you get. So these ones on, what is it, your guys' left, chrome is far shinier. They hold up far better. I mean, this one has staining, and I've never used this tool in my life. It sits in my toolbox, but it already has staining on the chrome. I mean, you don't see that on the old stuff. Later on, we'll take out some really, really old stuff, you know, 80s, 70s, new old stock stuff that I have. You don't see any staining on that stuff, and it's been sitting in its box for the last, you know, 50 years in some cases, and nothing's the wiser of it. It looks like it's brand new. So the later you get, the chrome will be shittier, and that's something you need to look out for whenever you're buying these. But overall, the quality of the United States ones compared to the Chinese ones, if you can find it, buy the United States ones. They are far better than the Chinese ones. If you don't have the money or you don't have the time, if you need something real quick, Chinese ones will work perfectly fine. I'm not saying that they're not going to do their job, but if you want to have some quality in it, you know, you want to have some pride in it, I get the United States ones. If you have any questions on them, make sure you leave them in the comments, and if you have any ideas for the next video, leave me a comment on it, and I'll try to figure out if I have the tool or if I can get the tool. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time.